We shall go right into our first interview tonight when we talk to someone I introduced everyone to this past week on Something Cool News. His name is Daniel Kingery. Not only is he running for the presidency of the United States and that country's elections, which are coming up in November, he also is doing his campaigning from a 1986 Crown Victoria vehicle. Not only is he campaigning, but he's also living in it. In fact, right now, he is, I'm sure, hunkered down in a Walmart parking lot somewhere to make this phone call. Is that right, Daniel?
Well, not quite. Not quite the Walmart part anyway, but I am hunkered down at a rest stop along Route 71, just about 40-some-odd miles north of Cincinnati. On my way to PA now.
Right. That's because you were at this conference, this Independence Day conference, which was supposed to bring all these independent candidates together in one place, where a candidate would be nominated and then officially supported, I guess, by the independent community. My guess is it didn't go off exactly as planned.
That's correct.
What happened?
Well, trying to make a long story short, yesterday I was told there was no elimination round when I showed up today in my usual campaign attire, which you see on your website there and a couple of pictures. I was the first one eliminated, and then the only one eliminated eventually, which was kind of disappointing. When the media showed up, I was already off stage.
Media showed up?
Yeah, primarily there was, I guess there was supposed to be some sort of a camera, not the still cameraman from some sort of association with Wikipedia or Wiki News or something like that, and then the school newspaper reporter showed up. Other than that, there wasn't any major news organizations there.
How many people showed up at this conference? How many actual candidates were present?
There were 9 candidates. One showed up late. Just about the time we were going to do the first round of elimination, they showed up when the last round of candidates were on stage. So when I voted for the elimination, then I voted for the one that wasn't there during the whole first round. Which I thought made sense. I mean, if there was going to be an elimination, you just won't eliminate the person that wasn't there.
Well, fair enough. You believe that you were eliminated because of the fact you didn't maybe fit in with the rest of the group?
Well, when I spoke of a kind of a hunch I had, a suspicion.
Yes.
And it was confirmed when I got the talk that they weren't worried about the content of the candidate platform or anything like that. They wanted a candidate they could sell to the public, somebody that looked good and delivered whatever they had to say, delivered it well on stage. So I obviously didn't fit the look good part and everything else because I didn't have a suit and tie and I was in tennis shoes. But when I started reviewing some of the other candidates' websites and that sort of stuff and how much information they had over the internet off of their website, I kind of got the impression that I had the most news coverage of most anybody there. They were having problems getting any coverage at all, but I just didn't fit the mold they were trying to create, which was unfortunate because I thought they were trying to be different from the Democrats and Republicans because that's exactly what they were trying to do: make a marketable candidate, and the major parties aren't worried about the content either, which is sad.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Okay.
I should probably talk forever, but
well, that would be okay. I mean, this is a free-form internet show. We can talk as long as we want. No commercials, nothing. So, who did they eventually nominate as the final independent candidate?
They didn't.
They didn't.
Which was interesting. No, they didn't.
I'm sure. I thought that was the whole point of the conference.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got, was just kind of narrow the field down so that of the 9 people that were there, then they would be kind of doing elimination rounds, because they're supposed to be setting up. I got the impression that this has been going on for a while, but this is the first one I heard about. But they're going to have other independent candidate conferences throughout the rest of the year, once a month.
Well, I'm confused because when I looked at the Independence Day website, it specifically said that they were going to have the candidates talk on Saturday and then do the elimination rounds on Sunday and finally nominate the final candidate.
That's the impression I got too. But it proved to be considerably different come Sunday. So, but yeah, it was in that aspect of things, it was somewhat disappointing that they didn't kind of follow through on what they had intended to do. But it was a tremendous learning experience. This particular group in trying to formulate another political party, it just proved to be that they're not going to be any different than the Republicans and Democrats. It's like a dog fight and everything else. Right now you have 2 dogs in the ring with the Republicans and Democrats, but they're trying to create a 3rd dog to throw into the ring at the same time, which is no different than the first 2. So now you end up with 3 bloody dogs.
Wow. I guess that would be disappointing. I mean, we were hoping to get maybe a combination of all these ideas in an independent candidate and have that independent candidate be the one that perhaps faces off against the Democrats, Republicans. But if you're saying they're all kind of starting to look and sound the same, that's kind of a step back.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, that's kind of what it was. But with the way things happened and the way the whole thing turned out, I figured it was more of an honor to not be chosen based on what had happened than to have been chosen and find out that they were just merely another Republican and Democrat with a different name.
So you're feeling pretty good about being eliminated first?
Yes, I am. Yeah. Based on what eventually happened and all that sort of stuff, yes, I am.
When they
what's that?
I was going to say, when they eliminated you, were they nice about it, or did they just say, "Yeah, I'm sorry, you don't quite fit what we're looking for"?
Well, the guy that was Richard Clark was one of the main people who was putting it on. He before the second round came up, he had come up and said, I'm really sorry that I have to tell you this, but you were the one that was chosen to be eliminated. I really didn't expect that to happen." And later on throughout the day, I learned that a lot of the people didn't actually vote because they didn't think the elimination was right. And I said, well, it's not my show, but I mean, if we're going to vote on an elimination, this particular round is going to be the easiest because the one guy that showed up after the first round was just about over. So
yeah, it would seem the guy who showed up late, didn't bother to be there on time, should probably have been the one to be eliminated. He clearly didn't care so much, and you were there like Thursday night.
Yeah, and the guy that was late today was also ended up showing up yesterday halfway through the day as well. So I figured this is an easy choice. If we're actually going to do elimination rounds, then this is an easy choice. It's a no-brainer. The guy wasn't here the first round, so he should automatically be the one out. No matter how good he is as a candidate.
Which candidate was that, if I can ask?
It was Christopher Popham Smith.
Okay.
I mean, he's a likable guy and everything else, but I mean, if you're going to have rules regarding something, then they have to kind of remain consistent throughout the whole game. It's like 2 people agreeing to play baseball according to a certain set of rules, and then by the time the game